Good morning and welcome to the Seneca County Commissioner meeting. It is Thursday, April 20th, 2023, and we will begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Frank.
Dear Heavenly Father, please guide us with your wisdom as we prepare to conduct business for the benefit of our residents of Seneca County. Also, please pray for the safety of our farmers as the long hours of the planting season start. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. That's good. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Schuff,
Here.
Commissioner Franker.
Here.
So at this time, I will accept a motion to approve the digital audio recording of our last meeting a few weeks ago, Thursday, April 6th.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. And first on our agenda today, we have Renee Smith from Fostoria Economic Development Corp. I can't wait to we put her on first so we can all get fired up with all this good news. So,
Okay.
The floor is yours. Welcome.
No, thank you so much. So I just wanted to come in today, as we do a couple times a year, and kind of provide you guys an update on all the things. Okay, let me start over. Not all the things, but some highlights of some things that are going on over in Fostoria, specifically in Fostoria Economic Development. You were all at our annual meeting about a month ago, so you kind of know how last year went. It was a very successful year for us. So I wanted to take this time to highlight some things that we have going on now and into 2023, 2024. One of the things I did want to mention is our Co-Starters program. I know, Tyler, you have heard of this, but I wasn't sure about the other two. We do this in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, and it is specifically for entrepreneurial development. We started this in 2020, at the end of 2020, and we have worked with 40 entrepreneurs through this program since then. We are the only Co-Starters community in the state of Ohio. It actually started in Tennessee as a downtown revitalization program, and it's a grassroots effort. The last 2 years, our Launch Fostoria Business Competition winners, Jenna Stearns and then Chris Van Kuren Coaster, who's opening the candy shop in June. They both took this program, and we've had several others, and we're very proud of it. We're actually doing our 6th cohort right now, and myself and Sarah Stevens-Krupp, who's the chamber director, we facilitate that. So I did want to mention that because it's kind of unique, something that we're doing, and it's a 10-week course, about 30 hours of content, and it literally takes the people going through the course through an idea to implementation in 10 weeks' time. So that was one of the things I wanted to mention. I also wanted to mention that we just completed construction on our 3rd spec building in Fostoria out on US 23 South, and that then fills our industrial park out there. So we utilized a state program to put that up, and we'll be submitting all the final paperwork to the state actually this afternoon. So we're hoping we have all of that done by the end of May. And then we've had a lot of interest in the building. So it is my goal to have that building filled by the end of summer, if at all possible. And then I don't know, we're gonna be looking for potentially a new industrial park. What are we gonna do? What's our next project gonna be with all of that? So hopefully we have a plan by the end of the year, but that's what we're gonna be working on. And then we do have the same issue that Tiffin does, the county does with housing. So as we have had conversations with TCEP and a variety of other people, I think we're all pretty much going to be working together on housing. It's going to be a county-wide initiative because this isn't a municipality issue. This is a county-wide issue. So I'm excited to be working with everyone on that. And then we do, as always, have several companies investing and looking to grow. But it all comes back to workforce. Workforce is still the #1 issue facing our companies, which leads me into my next topic. So we're putting a heavy emphasis on workforce over in Fostoria. And we are operating under 3 kind of pillars, if you will: upskill, uplift, and expose. So when we talk about upskilling, it's the companies that have existing employees and how can we move them from this position up to another position. What kind of training do they need? Uplifting, finding those individuals that aren't currently in the workforce or could be doing something different in the workforce and giving that leg up. We've done some programming with like the City Mission and some different organizations like that to get people into the workforce. And then exposure. That's dealing with the kids, the youth. What opportunities are available in your own backyard? And so last year we did an educator boot camp. We were the only municipality in the state of Ohio to run our own educator boot camp. It was wildly successful. We're doing another one the first week of June. We're very excited about that, but that kind of helps bridge the gap between educators and businesses because they kind of talk different languages most of the time. The other thing we have done, and I brought copies for everybody, we did career cards. And they look like baseball cards. And we highlighted, there's 25 cards in there.
Can we trade them like?
You can do whatever you would like with them. Yep. So they're,
Paradiso or Franklin in here?
they are not, that's the next round. So there are 25 cards in there featuring 25 different careers in 23 local businesses. We are getting these out to the kids of all ages. We actually, we're getting a lot of success. We're doing a whole social media campaign around them right now. We made sure all the businesses that participated got cards because each one has an employee that's featured.
So these go to the kids in the schools?
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah.
We're using them in events, different things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited about them, something different. And then we're also doing a new video series, and it's called Riding Around with Renee. I didn't name it, somebody else did, but it's very entertaining. We've dropped 2, and what we do is we take a large company in Fostoria and then a small business and kind of tie them together and feature them, and then we use a car from Reineke Family Dealership, and they're usually about 10 to 15 minutes, and we put somebody from the company in a car with me. We ride around and talk about what their job is. How do you apply to work at this company? And we did Manel Milling and we did Independence House and Blanchard Valley Health Systems. Those are the 2 that have dropped. We're going to do a series of 8. They're using them in the career classes. It's just a little more personal. We took the comedians in cars concept and it appeals to the kids. That's what we're trying to do. Just engage the kids. We're also, we do a Make It Day with kids. All the 5th graders at Fostoria City Schools come in and do a hands-on activity with local companies to give them that experience, help them understand at a younger age what's going on in their own backyard. And then the other thing we've started doing is just a basic employer fact sheet. We reach out to our employers and we get it out to the local school districts. Who's hiring summer help? Oftentimes kids think summer help is working at a fast food restaurant or something like that. A lot of our major manufacturers hire summer help. So this is a way to get them in the door, and it shows them how to apply and different things like that. So we're very excited about that. This all kind of coincides with the Fostoria Learning Center, which that's where our offices are housed, and we have a joint management agreement with the Learning Center. And so 3 weeks ago, we did hire a new workforce development director for the Learning Center. Her name is Linda Fouts, and I will get her over here to meet with all of you very soon. Last year, the Learning Center did very well. We touched over 2,000 individuals last year through that facility. We worked with over 30 companies in 5 counties for customized training to help their employees. So we're taking the Learning Center and making it more of a regional resource, which is the ultimate goal. And then just a couple extra things. Our office still does all the grants writing for the city of Fostoria. You may have read, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we did get an ODNR grant of over $450,000 to assist with our splash pad project. That's just one example of the grants that we work on. And we're consistently submitting applications. Some are as small as 5,000. I think the largest application we have right now out is for about 15 million for a project. So we don't always get them all, but if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So we try and keep going. We still handle the administration for the land bank. We took that over about 2 years ago. We have a number of ongoing projects, as you're all aware with that, from grant dollars to demolitions to acquisitions to property sales. It just keeps going. But I could stand up here and talk forever because there's just so many different things going on. But the bottom line is we couldn't do what we do without the continued support of the Seneca County Commissioners. So I wanted to express my appreciation on behalf of myself and my board for your continued support of our organization. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
You're a rock star.
Thank you.
We like the relationship with Fostoria as well, so thank you. What is the estimated cost for the splash pad?
So when we
got
put like,
450 grant, right?
when we put like our original rendering together, and it was kind of just a concept drawing, we were hoping to raise about $550,000 to complete that project. With this grant and with what's been raised by the community, the businesses, and some other funding through the state capital budget and our Greater Fostoria Community Foundation, we have actually raised close to $1.2 million for that project. So it's going to be a much more elaborate splash pad. We're actually talking about putting in like a toddler area specifically. And then I think we're going to look at putting a official handicap accessible brick and mortar restroom in the same general area to help just enhance that whole project.
It's fantastic.
Super. Yeah, awesome.
Renee, you touched on the housing. What do you see as far as a plan to put together to work with TCEP, us, to help get this moving? And I mean, the old adage, sometimes you do a study, you shelve it, nothing happens, but I think we want to continue on with this. Top 3 things that could help lead this.
I think the first thing is we have to identify the land that has relatively close infrastructure if the infrastructure isn't already there. We need to develop what sites are options that we can get an easier lift off, if you will. Because it gets bogged down if you start talking about running infrastructure, things like that. So do we have any close to shovel-ready sites? And then, talking to the utilities in that area, making sure they have the capacity, and then looking to find that developer that's willing to kind of take a chance on Seneca County. I think those are the top 3 things we need to be doing right now. And Aaron and I had a meeting a couple weeks ago and kind of talked about how, yes, he's working for Tiffin in the county and I'm working for Fostoria, but if we want to solve this problem, this isn't about Tiffin or Fostoria. This is about where in the county is there sites available that we can look to get something constructed.
Yep.
Is there going to be like a committee set up for that, you think? Or, I mean, obviously TCEP and FEDC will be involved in this front and center. I mean, as far as the commissioners go and the city of Tiffin, city of Fostoria, I mean, is there going to be a committee formed to kind of break apart these tasks, you think? Or how do you see it? How do you see it breaking down?
Yeah, I think ultimately we're going to have some group meetings to talk about how we want this to look and how we want to roll it out. And if we find property that's out in the county, we're going to be pulling in the townships and things like that to have those conversations. So I think initially it's going to be a lot of conversation, which, good or bad, it's a lot of conversation.
I
Yeah,
think you're right. Identifying the available land first is probably the first step. I agree with you.
yeah.
To get the low fruit. So I talked to Engineer Zimmerman, and even in the city of Tiffin, I'm sure this is the case in Fostoria. There are water and sewer lines, and they stop here, and there might be 2 or 3 lots that within the city that are available, but people don't know they're available, or the developer ran out of money, or whatever. So as we develop sites, they're not all 50-acre kind of site kind of things.
Correct.
It's any we can put 4 there, 3 there, 10 here, plus the big sites.
Well, and from
That
like
all helps,
the
right?
land bank's perspective, we need to, and I'm going to make myself do this, look at the lots that we still have
Yeah.
available, which ones are still deemed buildable, because the infrastructure is right there. I mean, they took the water and sewer off at the street, but those could easily have houses put back on them. Some of the lots are no longer going to be buildable,
Yeah.
but,
That's
100%.
Start
Let's-
inside, and
yeah.
rather than, exactly.
yep,
Anybody, anything else?
No, very good, thank
all
you.
right.
Do you want to give a pitch for Launch Fostoria?
What kind, well, I guess I can. That's
I guess
not a
you
problem.
kind of put her on the spot.
So this will be our 3rd year of the Launch Fostoria Business Competition. Applications are currently open. So if you have a small business that you'd like to get started, or if you have an existing small business and are looking for a way to grow it, check out the application. You can go to the Fostoria Area Chamber of Commerce website. The application is there, or you can call the chamber office. I apologize, I do not have that phone number memorized, so I can't give you that phone number out loud. But you can reach out to Sarah Stevens Krupp, and then it's a process. We'll review the applications, people will be notified, you'll present to a panel of judges, and then the top 3 candidates will move on to the live event, which will take place in August in downtown Fostoria.
I do have one more quick question.
Yes.
The flower shop that they're wanting to retire and stuff, is there getting some interest in that?
It's sold.
It's sold.
It's sold.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Great news, good.
Yes.
Good.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good.
Yep, so it worked out just wonderfully.
Good. Somebody local,
See, Adam,
I
how it
don't need
works.
names, but just somebody
Right.
in there. Good.
Yep.
Match up with business.
Yeah.
Was it through the clearinghouse?
Yeah.
That was Flower Line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Through the
Yeah.
clearinghouse.
That's awesome.
Sarah reached out to us and, we're really glad that that partnership exists to kind of get those businesses out there as well now.
Yeah, and that's a great segue, and I do want to say this, and I genuinely mean it. The working relationship, I think, between the elected officials, between the county and the municipalities, as well as the economic development and chamber offices between the different municipalities has never been better than it is today. And we work so well with TSEP, and I know that chambers work well together, Destination Seneca County and the Visitors Bureau. And I think that speaks so highly of everyone in the positions and also the progress we're seeing in the county because everybody's working together.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's your quote for the paper, Caleb.
But thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Very nice report,
Just,
yes.
Renee, the number for the chamber is 419-435-0486.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Renee, didn't mean to put you on the spot. It's like,
No, it's fine.
give me some airtime.
No, it's fun.
Nice job. So Bryce, did you have a presentation?
No, I think
You're not
I'll
on
be
the
doing
agenda, but we can sneak in right now. We have a bid opening at 10:30.
Yeah, so just real quick.
So if you'd like to come up.
Yep, so we just, as of yesterday, announced and released the community guide for 2023. We're really excited about this. I know we're worked really hard to get this put together. It's a comprehensive listings of most of the businesses within our community for our visitors, and then in the past, you might know we called it the visitor's guide, but for us, kind of alienated half the group. So our community said, hey, I'm not a visitor, but we just had someone yesterday, I dropped it off to them, they said, hey, I lived in Seneca County my entire life, but I didn't know this business, and so it's kind of a rebrand, refresh, and this year, a little more brighter, a little more added detail to it as well. So you can get this either online, SenecaCountyGuide.com, or you can get this at a lot of local businesses. We'll be out distributing these throughout the county. Yesterday we dropped off mostly just the Tiffin area, but then we head to Fostoria and getting this out to the businesses as well.
Why don't you mention the improved Fostoria section?
Yeah, so the big
Today's
thing is-
Fostoria Day.
It is Fostoria Day, right? So the
Yeah.
big thing is, before when I first started, we didn't have a lot of great photography for some of the Fostoria businesses on here. So the two is the Urban Woody Brewery and Honey Bee Winery as a feature in here, as well as the Fostoria Rail Park. And so we're excited about that, but then also we kind of said, for some reason it was always like Tiffin area businesses was the different categories, Seneca County businesses, different categories. And then in Fostoria, here's all the businesses, right? And so we just kind of said like, we never knew why we did that way.
Blend
And
them
so,
together.
so for us, it's a blended. Everything looks exactly across the same. So I want to thank Ralph and Julie for being our cover models, and then also the commissioners. If you want to get scared away, they're on the first page as well. So it's good. Keep the mice away in your house.
I stood in the back so I looked thinner.
Exactly. Thank you.
Get them to the
But
next page at least, you know?
you also get this out throughout the community. And like I said, we'll be working hard to make sure this gets out there. It's also available on the turnpikes, those kind of things, and those rest stops. They got delivered, I think, on Monday, so they're already out there.
Last Thursday, we weren't out there because I stopped. Yeah,
Last Thursday were, I know, right? So
Yeah.
Commissioner Franker was on me, but it's
I saw the bus at Ralph's.
good.
right?
Exactly. So we had our first bus tour in town this week, earlier this week. So we had a group out of Cleveland, about 35 church group, about 35 folks out of Cleveland. It was very successful, and we were happy about that. But yeah, I know it's one of those things you'll see also moving forward. It's our expectation is we'll launch a new guide around springtime every year. The last guide was kind of get us through COVID, trying to figure out what that looked like. But yeah, and obviously a lot of the ad sales obviously help go back to
Does this
support
pay
it.
for this guy? Do the ad sales?
Yeah,
pay
sales
for
go.
it?
Yeah, we invest those dollars right back into the guide. So this year also harder stock as well. And then we say people really enjoy the map at the back. So it's a countywide map. which is also good for
Well
everyone.
done.
So I like that part. You guys did a really, really nice job on those.
Hard to find that. Marissa went out and she drew this all herself, I think, too. No.
That one I didn't actually. But if you want a coloring page of the map, I can help with that.
Any questions for us?
Yeah, there was this was 3 years ago, I think. And Marissa, maybe you could do this. So when, and it would be like a map that you would rip off that would be glued together. And if someone came in and said, where is this business, you could draw it up and then tear the map off and give it to them. And I'm wondering if we could take something like that and I could talk more to you about it.
Yeah.
Actually, Beth, God rest her soul, Dietz was the one that came up with that idea. And because people go to all of these different government agencies and they walk in and they want to know where this building is or that. And then also sometimes, remember Michael Strong, they would go into Ritz
Oh, yeah.
all the time and ask
For sure.
how do I get to the hospital or whatever. So maybe we could do that and you just tear it off and then put a couple businesses on there to pay for it.
Yeah, and I know that the engineer's office has a map as well.
Yeah.
A little more, pretty big, to say the least, but
Got me
also,
thinking about it.
for sure,
Yeah.
it's a little more portable, to say the least. And we've
Anything
dropped
else?
off to all our hotels as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. And I should say, the new chip, the new bus that came into town, everyone got a coloring book, the new guide and chips, and then I was just at a Hampton Inn yesterday, and I think it's their Emerald members that stay there. They all get a Senate County chip when they stay, so kind of a cool thing. Obviously, it helps us with the community brand, the county brand, and it's being a destination, and we've done a lot of work with that, but obviously a lot of work to go to ensure that folks know that, hey, if you're looking to explore, seek Seneca County.
It's a nice reminder.
You're doing a great job.
I like that.
And then what, you're looking at a year out for the eclipse, you're getting some plans around for that, what,
Yeah.
anything to report?
So, yep, good. We just actually talked about the Tourism Council meeting this morning. So the City Council met this last Monday, Tiffin City Council, and so the big thing is obviously it's a rare event, really once in a lifetime for us in our community, and so we've had initial discussions with the city. They're looking to appropriate some of their funds to help us support with the eclipse for 2024, and so I think the initial plan right now is looking at some dollars this year, some dollars for next year, because again, I was talking to Commissioner Schuff about this as well. We have 52 weeks in a year, and so we don't want to obviously blow through lodging tax all for one weekend. Our big thing is, and I think from a safety perspective, is how do you get folks to come early? So come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or rather all coming on Monday. And so we'll be working initial discussions with the city at this last meeting. I think they're going to present some legislation coming up the next meeting to talk about what that funding, what those look like. And so it might be a conversation as well with the county commissioner. I know I've had some initial discussions about that. And really, how do we leverage those local dollars to show off our community? And again, being once in a lifetime, it's kind of a rare situation that we might be having conversations with you about funding.
Yeah, so I'm gonna interject that now.
Yeah.
It's 10:24, we have a bid opening at 10:30, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good segue with the eclipse. Next year is Seneca County's 200 and bicentennial anniversary, bicentennial. And the Visitors Bureau is all involved. They come to the meetings. They're going to be a huge part of the activities throughout the county. And April 1st is the actual birthday of the county. And the eclipse is the 8th, I believe.
8th, yep.
It's the 8th. So that, we want to do something on Monday the 1st to launch the bicentennial of Seneca County. The following week, we're going to have 100 and some thousand people in the county. So I just want to throw that out.
For sure.
That the Visitors Bureau has a lot going on, and you guys are a big part of this. You sit on both those committees, and we appreciate that. We're going to see what we can do to all work together on this thing.
And the plan is to be the tourist event that we did this last year. We've not communicated this outward, but this is the first time I'll say this, is that plan is to do that the weekend before the first. So that, I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the first will be the official 200th birthday of the
Yeah.
county. and then obviously the 8th through the Eclipse. So we'll be reaching out to our partners with that. But really the big thing is that we want to make sure we get our funding lined up, or at least figure out what that may look like before we have discussions with our partners. Because obviously, we have, we can dream all we want, but the dollars aren't there to do it. We can't do it. And so for us, we also want to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars, lodging dollars. And so for us, we want to develop a plan that makes sense, that's going to keep people safe, but allows people really, allows us to show off the community as a whole. So
Good.
I'll be coming back probably in the
Anything else from anybody?
future about that.
Well done.
Awesome.
Good.
Thanks. Again,
Right.
SenecaCountyGuide.com. I'll show it to Jimmy. It's at the screen, see it. So check it out.
Nice. So we still have a few minutes. Maybe we can sneak a commissioner report or two in. Who would like to go first? Bill.
So, yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we met, so, so on April 8th, went out to Tiffin Farmers. They worked with the LAPC on the training, worked with Clinton Township. Want to thank them for, working with that and kind of doing a tremendous training from about, it started at 8 o'clock till, and then we finished up at B-Dubs at noon or so for the hot wash, they call it. So what a great event that was. Learned a lot. It's definitely in 10 seconds things could change in a heartbeat. So right. But, from there went a week ago, kind of legislative out to Summit County. They actually had Governor DeSantis. He did a nice speech and a very good event. It was wonderful. We had about 500-600 people there. So kind of all over from everybody from all over for that. So. The 18th, we was at the LAPC, you guys talked about that, and then we had the sheriff tour, kind of showing all the upgrades that they've done at the sheriff's department. Yesterday had One Ohio foundation meeting, so there's kind of a moving situation there as we start looking at funding and some options there as time moves on with that.
That's kind of on hold.
It's on hold right now, yep, just to see how things go here. And then yesterday afternoon, went out to stopped in at the Seneca Sandusky Port Authority meeting. First time ever being there, so that was pretty information about the tracks and stuff. They talked about, that part of it, so that was quite a meeting there. So that's what I have to report.
I've said this before, but there will be a time when our current port authority will be used for economic development more than it currently is. The fact that we have a port authority is a tremendous asset. And they do a great job managing that short line track, but they're also, there could be other things they could come in, they could be called upon, right?
Yes.
For sure. So
They talked a lot about out to the quarry, Maple Grove. That's kind of probably the most busy spot right now with it. But as time goes on, there's coming to Tiffin. There's some short track stuff that we talk about with
port authorities
it's
a great asset.
It was
powerful.
pretty educational. So yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you went. I've been to one. It's been a little while, but those are interesting meetings. Great, good. So we only have a minute. I'm going to ask the county administrator, you tell us what you
We'll
think
hold off.
with the bid opening.
Yeah, we'll
Should
just
we
wait.
hold?
Yeah, just in case.
Okay.
Tyler, can you get through yours in a
Okay,
minute?
so we'll call on Commissioner Shell for
Okay.
his report. We can open it at 10:32, is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
All
Just
right,
wait
we
till
have a sign-in
10:30 at
sheet
least.
somewhere?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, you're up. Thank you.
All right, so had a busy week and a half here. Yesterday, Jamie and I had met with some individuals from Safe Built, which will be Seneca County's new building department. Is it May 30th that they hand
June
out?
1st.
June 1st, thank you. Now, we're working through some of the details on that as far as their space goes, their need, Wi-Fi, mailboxes, how the transition will go from Richland County and Wood County Building Department to Safe Built. But thought Jamie asked some really good questions and thought of some stuff I didn't think to ask, but she's always on top of that. So last week, Commissioner Paradiso and I and Jimmy, we had an OSS meeting. That was last Wednesday over in Fremont. I'll kind of let you touch on that. I won't take that one from you, so you have something to report on. But this morning we also had a tourism. I feel bad by the time Frank and I go, you don't usually have everything talked about.
It's good. It's good.
So this morning we had a tourism council meeting. Thanks to Bryce and Marissa gave some updates here to the group. very well attended. We discussed issues like the bicentennial committee, solar eclipse, got some updates, some financials, got to give a report here for the county, but thanks for all they're doing. And I don't know if I'll say that. As far as the numbers go on your online stuff and reach, can you talk about that real quick, Marissa, or just
Yeah.
Numbers.
yeah, I can't read all that.
Can I just-
Yeah, go ahead.
When Bryce first came aboard and then I also joined, we really worked on doing a complete overhaul, not only of the website, but also building that Destination Seneca County brand and reaching people through all mediums. So through the community guide, for putting out press releases, and also social media. We like to say that we're an information source for both visitors coming through and then also for folks who live here to try and keep them here to figure out if there's things that interest them that they can do here so they stay here. So at first, obviously, when we did an overhaul, we saw a huge spike, and we're happy to report that that's still increasing. So we are up all across the board, both on social media, amount of blogs we've written, and then also on our website views as well. And then with that, we've really partnered with many different organizations throughout the county. So the City of Tiffin, TSEP, Downtown Tiffin are going to start conversations here soon with the county as well. For example, of having a widget on for the community calendar on there. It really shows that a life connected and that cohesive feel of all of us working together. And so we're continuing to think outside the box, featuring destinations, businesses, and people that make up Seneca County, and then also helping to promote events and all the things happening. So all of those are up. I think social media is up by 59% as compared to where we were at the same time last year. So it's good to see that we didn't just have a spike because of the overhaul, but we're continuing to see that growth and that increase.
So we did 2.5 million in terms of reach last year through just the Visitors Bureau. In terms of social media reach, we're on pace to do about 3.2 million this year.
It's just encouraging every time I come to your guys' meeting, it's not going up 3% here and 4% there, it's jumping 30-40% this year, then 60% the next. I mean, they're big leaps and bounds, but just very encouraging what you guys are doing, so kudos. Was on WTTF last week, gave a county update on some things that we're working on. The ag building, rural broadband, gave those updates to WTTF for the county update. Last Friday, we had a recovery task force meeting, got some updates from Mircha. Discussed a lot of things. They discussed the pivot program. Right now, there's a total of 49 people in that program, 32 male, 17 female. Got to hear a lot of updates from a lot of the different groups. I don't like reporting on this stuff, but we got overdose numbers for 2022, and if anyone wants to know those, I'll share those, but it's just, we've got some issues to deal with here in the recovery task force, and the opioid crisis, and just when you go to these meetings, you learn a lot, but it's not always an upbeat meeting, I'll put it that way. Also, as Commissioner Frankert alluded, we took a tour of the Sheriff's Department and the jail. Commissioner Paradis and I did one about 2 years ago when we both first took office or started our term, but got some updates there from the sheriff, and it's always educational out there. It's looking better out there, so it's definitely an improvement from what it was before. Regional Planning had contacted me here this week. We have a transportation committee meeting that Charlene would like to set up May 9th. We're going to look at our traffic study or our plan that we had. Like I had said, last time we'd done it was 2017. I'm guessing that they're going to want to possibly update it, so I'll go to that meeting, report back to you guys, but the plan hasn't been updated in 6 years. But I'm going to guess or assume that they're going to ask for an update, but we'll see. Also, with the chamber here, we had a ribbon cutting over at M. Hart Mercantile over in Fostoria. Very well attended. Got to see Renee and Sarah, and probably a good 50 people there. I mean, it was very well attended. Congrats to Mike and Tiffany Arand. They're always doing something over there, whether it's the brewery, the winery, they're renting to the new candy store. It's just, they're constantly moving and shaking over there in Fostoria, so congrats to them. As Renee had discussed, Launch Fostoria is in its 3rd year, but you can go online to apply for that. Hopefully people are. Tonight it's the Blooming Artist Stroll. That's downtown Tiffany here for their 3rd Thursday, so come on downtown for that. And then just wanted to congratulate Commissioner Frankert on his 100 days. It's a very well-written article, and it's been a pleasure to work with you this far, and you're hitting the ground running, you're diving in, so just want to congratulate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys' support.
That's all I have.
All right, so we will move forward with our bid opening. County Administrator will handle that. So the floor is yours.
Okay, sign up sheet is coming around. This bid is for the County Road 62 pavement repair project C-2023-3. The engineer's estimate is $93,479,000. We have received 2 bids. The first one we have is submitted is M&B Asphalt, and their total bid amount is $114,000. Well, let's see, that seems like it's low. Hold on. Yeah. Let's see, $114,835.50.
This was you last week. Opening the land bank. Yes.
Oh, so many envelopes.
Yeah.
And the second bid that we have is from Erie Blacktop. And that bid total is $88,053.50.
Okay, so we will turn those over to the engineer's office. Good.
That's correct, yep.
For,
They'll review and make sure all the documents and.
so, Michelle, are you ready to go? We'll call you up just a little early. Welcome, so we have with us Michelle Hess from CASA. Always good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
And,
guys.
Floor is yours.
All right, so I'm Michelle Hess. I'm the Tri-County Communications Coordinator for CASA, Seneca, Sandusky, and Wyandotte counties. So for those that don't know or aren't familiar with what that program is, it stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. And what we do in this community is train people, just everyday average Joe people, to advocate for abused, neglected kids in court. So how that situation comes about, Children's Services will receive a report that something's going on with the family, and they'll go and investigate that. If they find through working with that family that they need some court intervention, they're going to get that family in front of the juvenile court judge. And with that, then we're going to get a call from the judge saying we need a CASA on that. If you guys haven't been in that type of situation, in that juvenile courtroom, you have caregivers, whether that be mom or dad or grandparents, and they each get a court-appointed attorney. So those attorneys are fighting for what those caregivers are wanting. You're going to have Children's Services in the room as well with their attorney, their caseworker, and they're going to be talking about what we need to do to get this family back together the way that they had found it. They have very state regulations that they have to follow in order to get that family back to the way that they found it. So they have to work reunification, and there's a lot of red tape that they're having to work through. So with that situation, the child can get lost in that. We're not really talking about what's best for them. We're kind of just talking about this overbroad, what's going on with this family, what can we do? So that's why it's super important for the CASA volunteer to be there. They're the ones advocating for this kid. Those kids aren't in the courtroom to say, hey, I actually just want to start track, or I just want to see my half-sibling that lives over here, and we haven't even been discussing that because they've been moved into a foster home that's a couple counties away, and they aren't in their same school, and they're just not seeing their family. So it's super important that we have someone there that's solely talking about them and what they need. And why our volunteers are able to do that is because of the training that we provide, the regulations that we have our volunteers stand up to. They're going and visiting that child at least on a monthly basis, wherever they may be living. They're talking to their teachers, their parents, counselors, anything that pertains to that child. We have a court-ordered paperwork that allows us to get all access to that. We're getting police records. If parents are in services, we're getting updates on how they're doing in services. So we collect a very broad picture of what's going on with this family. We write it down in our court report, and we actually make recommendations that we feel the judge should make in the case, whether that be, parents need to be involved in this service, whether that be changing in visits, if we think parents need to be visiting at a certain facility at a certain time frame, whether that needs to be increased, decreased, as well as the placement of the child and anything in between, like the sports, like IEPs. Maybe we're not really paying attention to how they're doing in school. So with us checking in with the teachers, we're knowing that, hey, we really need to address these situations too. Parents are working on what they need to in this, year to 2 year time frame, but that's a very large time frame for this child, and we need to make sure that they're doing the best that they can in this very traumatic time frame for them, where they're not at home with their family, and they don't really know what's going to come of the situation, whether they're going to be able to go back home. So with that information, the judge, with our report, can make a very thorough recommendation because they have that backstory of what's going on, and they know, we're not biased in the room. We're just here because we want to do what's best for these kiddos. So with our training that we provide, it's a 5-week course. We don't ask our volunteers to have any educational background. We provide that thorough 5-week training. We just ask that volunteers are 21 years or older, and we do a thorough background check on them as they go through our training. So with our training, they're going to learn courtroom procedures, they're going to learn advocacy techniques, you name it. Obviously, the cases that we're dealing with, majority are having to deal with drugs. So we cover a lot of that, how to recognize abuse and neglect. Many times we're dealt with a situation where we open a case on such and such reason, and through talking to the child and building that rapport and having them trust us, because we're showing up time after time, they will kind of let us know something else may have happened. So we need to learn those signs and know what to do in those situations when we're dealt with that. So we cover all of that in our, again, 5-week training. So I wanted to discuss not only what CASA is, but if you guys don't know, it's Child Abuse Prevention Month as well as Volunteer Month. So it's a very busy month in our world. So if you haven't heard late statistics on child abuse as a nation, it's 1 in 7 children have experienced child abuse or neglect. And nationally, 5 children die every day because of child abuse. For every incident of child abuse and neglect that is reported, an estimated 2 go unreported. And I know our program has definitely seen a ramp up in our numbers. COVID caused a lot of stressors in families, in everyone's family. So families that were already struggling, it kind of made things really worse for them. And not being in school, things didn't get reported in time. So we've definitely seen the ramp up as things are getting back to normal in our case numbers. So abused and neglected children are 11 times more likely to engage in criminal behavior as an adult. About 80% of 21-year-olds who were abused as a child meet the criteria for at least one psychological disorder. In our program, we help kids that born till they're 18, and in certain situations till they're 21, and it's kids who are victims of physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, abandonment, violence, you name it. We're going to be there for those kiddos. Looking at our statistics for our specific program for 2022, in our 3 counties, we served 283 children with 59 volunteers. 99 of those children were in Seneca County with 31 volunteers. And we had 16 children unserved because we did not have the volunteers in our program to appoint to these kids. So in that situation, we would then return that paperwork to the court, and they would appoint an attorney, guardian ad litem. If you guys know anything about attorneys, they are paid through the tax dollars and they are paid attorney fees, so that's quite a pretty penny. So when we can have our CASA volunteers appointed to do this job, it saves the county lots of money in the long run, and our regulations are actually a little bit more strict than the guardian ad litem attorneys. We have our volunteers go through 30 hours of training to become CASAs, and attorney guardian ad litems go through 12. We mandate that our volunteers see the child once every month, and their mandates are once throughout the life of the case. So
How many are not assigned to a CASA? What was your number?
16 we had to return.
16.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
And since our program started in Seneca County in 1990, we have served more than 4,500 children with our program. And looking at our numbers, I looked this morning, for this year, we've already serving 186 children with 46 volunteers across the 3 counties, 73 in Seneca County with 22 volunteers. So looking at that kind of rate, we're going to either beat our 283 children last year, and that's very high for us. We've not went above 300 in a very long time, and we're starting to look like that's going to be the trend for the next couple years. And with that trend of going up, we've seen a decrease in volunteers. If you've heard from any program that actually recruits volunteers, it is a huge struggle right now to get volunteers involved in programs because people are so busy and overloaded and overworked. And this is a large ask that we're asking people to do. It's not, just a one-time thing on the weekend. You're committing time to this child to be there for them, to be an important person in their life, to help make sure that their story ends in a good way, that we're not looking 10 years down the line like what happened to this kid, that we can say I helped them get to this part in their life. I had a hand in that. So yeah, any questions?
So you guys are working on a fundraiser for the dance?
Yes, we just finished up our Stars Dancing for CASA fundraiser in Sandusky County over the weekend.
Yep.
Carlos won.
Yes, Carlos did. Oh my gosh,
I saw
he
that.
worked the streets.
Good deal. How'd he do for his end of it?
He raised over $9,000 just on his end. So looking, we got the numbers. We raised $44,000 with this fundraiser. So it is incredible for us, especially since we had to have that couple-year break with the pandemic. So this is kind of really helping cover those expenses that we weren't able to have fundraisers for. And we've actually gotten a couple people interested in our volunteer training that's going to be taking place next week. That was another big reason why I wanted to talk to you guys, is because we desperately need volunteers. Like I said, the numbers are going down. It's hard to get volunteers right now. And our numbers in these cases are going up.
Jimmy, you're on it, Jimmy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely share out anything Michelle has, and yeah.
Did you get all those numbers and stats down, or?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Sure.
That was a lot.
I can get with her.
Would it help to have you bring back one of your volunteers that
Sure.
could tell a testimony of how
What exactly they're going through.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that.
you do that? We would welcome it.
It's David Ken,
He's a board member.
Board member, yep, gotta talk to him, so yeah, that'd be good to bring David.
I know Amy Laird.
Anybody like that you think?
I know Amy Laird was wanting to speak this month about child abuse prevention because
on the schedule.
Yep, she'll be here next week, and we're gonna do the child prevention awareness.
Is she a CASA?
she is a CASA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe then she could, will she work that in?
It's already arranged. It's scheduled.
What's she
next week.
coming here for?
Well, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, we're doing a proclamation,
Okay,
so,
but not for
her
CASA,
son
but
is
she
a
can-
chicken baby survivor,
she can
so.
incorporate a
But she
little
wants to
CASA
kind of talk about all,
If
both,
you
yeah.
would get with her and ask her to include that in her.
We've already, it's, yeah.
No, I know she's coming, I'm saying.
We already talked about that she's
about
gonna
this,
incorporate
okay,
that.
great.
We're ahead of the game.
This is good stuff. The other thing I want to ask you is, are you aware when a CASA volunteer goes before Judge Meyer, are you aware of all those cases? You know the docket yourself?
Yes. Yeah, our staff here in the
Yeah.
CASA office, that's why we have staff in the offices. We supervise all these volunteers. We're requesting records for them. We're
Okay.
kind of assisting them in this decisions
So
they're
would,
making.
if you could we went to Pivot Court, changed our, you can't explain it until you go there, but I would like to go to one of those actual hearings
Okay.
where, which you just described occurs. So if you could
Work that out.
send
Yeah.
Jamie or somebody here, Jimmy or whoever, a court docket, at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, this case is gonna be there. Maybe if we had a couple of them, maybe we all can't go to the same one, but I think that would be, I would love to do that.
I think it'd be great to see different
Yes.
varieties of them because,
Yes.
some cases are just starting out and there's a lot going on. Some are near the end and knowing hearing the stories of how that came about and where we're ending at that case and maybe seeing one right in the middle.
I would absolutely go to it. I know you guys would.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So we have next week and then anything else?
Nope. I know we have our couple other fundraisers, Tiffin Zombie Run. We do that in the fall. We're getting ready to kind of start the planning process for a new fundraiser in Wyandotte County. Casa Cash Cow. If you guys have heard cow pie bingos before, we're going to release a cow in the arena at the Wyandotte County Fairgrounds and let them do their thing. And people are going to place bingo bets. So it should be really fun.
Okay. Well, Seneca County, yeah.
I think during the farmer's market, we get about
We have
40.
to turn it up a notch.
Let's see, yeah,
Our
just like.
fundraiser, we
yeah.
have to turn it up a notch to get a little more.
Yeah, Bryce, yeah, we'll get incorporate Bryce into that there, yeah, see how far, who can
What
run that
knows
with
what,
like after
so.
Bryce, Bryce, so, yeah.
Turn me in. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's it
Okay,
for me.
we'll see you again.
All right.
Thanks for all you
Thank
do.
you guys.
Thank you very much, appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for coming.
Any comments from you guys?
No, I'll say it, right.
So I'll sneak in commissioner report on my end, and then we'll go over to you. Over to you, right, Jane? Okay. By the way, I wrote this down as an opening comment. I used to be on FEDC, and I used to be on your committee, and I miss those. These two, we rotate committees, and I love hearing the reports, but I miss going to those. Can't be everywhere, but. Few things. I was on the radio this morning, again, opening question. What do you think of Commissioner Frankert after his first 100 days? So congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think we're meshing pretty well. It's all good. Just a few comments here that I wrote down. We had, you mentioned OSS. Did we mention OSS? You did.
I brought it up, I
Yeah.
saved it for you.
So we attended a solid waste district meeting. This was our regular scheduled meeting in April. And the Seneca County Commissioners brought up at that meeting that with some information that we felt some dollars, additional dollars should come to Seneca County from the 3-county solid waste district because the Sunny Farm landfill is located in Seneca County. Our health department is involved and additional resources are needed to hire people to inspect, et cetera, the landfill. And one of the missions, two of the missions of OSS are one, education, which we do with billboards and schools and recycling in general, the green bins. But the other is to have oversight over the disposal of the waste. And in our solid waste district, we have Sunny Farms, Fostoria, and we also have a landfill in Ottawa County that still takes waste, but not at the same pace and rate that Seneca County does. So I think the meeting overall was cordial, and we are going to get more information around and get back with solid waste, OSS, and begin this discussion to see if we can get more resources directly to Seneca County. So I just want to make that comment. You want to add anything to that, or cover it?
No, seeing the other
You wanna
commissioners were receptive, and I think they kind of understand what we're going through, because we're taken a lot of the issues and heat with the landfill, so it seemed like they were open. We need to come at them with a number and maximize our testing and just make sure we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, we're waiting for them to get back to us.
And I think working collaboratively with our health department is going to help when they get us, what their needs and stuff are to help present that to the solid waste district. Because I think over time, it's almost been, some stuff we dove into that, the solid waste district, number one is, to help oversight stuff at the landfill and stuff with it. So I think that by opening it up and looking at things, that I think that it should be a good collaborative effort.
Good, yeah, I concur. Tonight, 4 o'clock, we'll be at Fostoria for the annexation. This is a meeting, so the goal here is to end up with a new 20-year agreement between Loudon Township, the other one, Jackson Township and Loudon Township, and the city of Fostoria. We're in a extension situation that expires in December, and so Renee will be at that. I'll be over there, and discussion continues with all parties. So looking forward to that. 7 o'clock tonight, EMS meeting. We met with Don, our EMS director chief, and went over some things with Scott, the president of the Joint Ambulance District, in preparation for tonight's meeting. I think things are going great. We support what they're doing, and we pulled the trigger on the new building. The conversation was, what's going to be the next building? What are the next 3 or 4 things we want to do? That'll be topic of discussion tonight, because we don't want to get complacent. We've kind of leveled out. Things seem to be going pretty well, but we need to keep progressing. You would say things are level now, right, Mark?
Yes.
After all your trips out. You don't go out as often anymore.
No.
Okay, good.
I get more phone calls though.
You get, okay. So that's a fluid situation. It's all going well. And yeah, I'll end with that. And Jamie, you're up. County Administrative Report.
Okay, we got a letter from the Bascom Lions asking if you guys would like to participate in the Lions 57th Annual Memorial Parade on June 4th. So that parade starts at 2 p.m. There, it starts at St. Patrick's Church parking lot. It will end at the swimming pool at Meadowbrook Park. And so if you guys want to go ahead and check your schedules for June 4th Memorial Parade, 2 p.m. Get back with me and then I can...
Second or fourth?
Sorry, June 4th.
June 4th, okay.
Okay, do we have any ask for any other parades?
There was
I think
Memorial Day
there is
parade
one.
for Tiffin.
Okay, and what was the date of that? We haven't talked about that. You brought it up.
Seen
Norm.
that.
Yeah, I feel
You
bad.
did.
Yeah,
Is it on the
What day
schedule?
and time is that? 'Cause I think we should try to do that.
the sheet's still out there. I filled it out, but
We could get a car and some, it'd be kind of fun, and I think I wouldn't mind, I would do it if I,
Yeah, I can get the date and the information, I can get the information.
which is for the
Tiffin.
Memorial
I
Day.
thought I saved it.
This is Bascom.
Did you send that in, Tyler, or did?
I gave it to Barb.
Yeah,
I
I
filled
sent
it
it
out.
in and I don't remember the date on it, but there was one,
We'll look at that after.
What's the Heritage
Kinda talk
Festival
about-
parade date and time? Do you know that off the top of your head?
It is the Saturday of Heritage Festival weekend at
the
10 a.m.
third Saturday of September.
16th at 10 a.m. And then also, while it's on your calendar, you might as well put
We have-
Halloween will be October 21st at 10 a.m.
Okay,
That'll be
so
covered.
Jimmy, I'm gonna
Downtown.
ask Jimmy to please list the 4 parades, times, and dates.
Got it.
We have them,
Yeah.
right?
You're the
Not
new
in
parade,
order.
you're the new parade coordinator.
I don't know.
We'll get them for you,
Okay,
Jimmy.
not in
Yeah.
order.
Usually
This
the
isn't
parades
order,
are-
but
On the
Bascom,
calendar if you got
Yeah.
it.
okay,
we'll
we've
get
got the
'em.
Lions in Bascom,
Yeah, I'll get it.
Memorial Day,
Yep.
Heritage, and Halloween.
Yep.
And I think the 3 of us should decide, get it on our calendars, we're gonna do it now. Then we get a car and make it a nice,
Yeah.
we have grandkids we can bring along.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, last year
You should probably coordinate some costumes for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yes, gotta make it fun.
Commissioner Kirscher and I brought our grandkids and we were out of candy by Marvin's by the old United Way. Yeah, the kids it just went crazy.
Hand.
It was fun. But thank you for bringing that up. Okay, back to you. We'll all try to make that happen.
We received a letter from, in regards to the Seneca County Agricultural Society, in regards to the amount of money they draw from the county. $1,600 is per Ohio Revised Code. You guys support all of the senior, junior, and general encouragement fees, so that's $3,200. I'm assuming you guys are in support of that again for this year. Perfect. And then we received an additional letter from Attica Independent Fair, and this is asking for $3,200 in any additional funds you would be willing to give to help offset their lack of income, to help with their expenses. Previously, 2019, you gave $5,000, 21, $1,700, and then 22, you gave $3,000. So again, their ask is $3,200 for 23, plus any additional that you would be willing to discuss.
Same for both.
Yeah.
3,200 for both.
Yeah.
Okay.
3,200 for both. Same.
Because that's what, at the end of the day, we're gonna have more help out there for EMS, so, and we're gonna have a little bit more that we're contributing, we've done that end of it too, so.
I think the 5,000 was a COVID year.
Yeah,
It was, everything was
right.
really weird.
Right. And they didn't know attendance and what, it was quite a deal, because he's gonna be able to open and.
So you come in, we can have discussion right now. Does anybody, are you asking us to decide?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect, 32 is good.
I'm good.
Yep.
You good with 32 for both?
Yep,
And, okay,
get that squared away.
done.
Perfect. Other than that, just, again, you guys brought up the Safe Built, so we'll be pushing that out pretty heavy in May. Permits pulled up until, anybody needing a permit through May will still have to pull through Richland County up until May 31st. And again, that project will be overseen through Richland County. It does not transition over to Safe Built effective June 1st. So all projects pulled with Richland County have to proceed with Richland for the full, until they're up and running and everything's done. So June 1st, Safe Build, and they'll oversee that project.
So
So
that
just to
would
be
be up
clear.
to the owner, contractor. If they were gonna pull the end of May, they might wanna wait.
They might want to wait, yeah.
And then we did have a talk about Fostoria. They're with Wood County, and is it okay if I,
Absolutely.
take it from
Yeah,
here and
that's
then go back to you two? Seneca County will be the, what's it called, where we're the main,
Lead.
the lead,
The lead
where
for
the
that.
two cities come underneath
Yep,
us.
they'll just
What's
use
that
the-
called? It's a
Well, it's
Seneca County
department.
Building Department.
Yeah,
And both the city of Tiffin and Fostoria will fall under Seneca County's umbrella. Fostoria is currently with Wood County. They are in the process of getting out of Wood County and joining Seneca County. Yesterday in our discussion, we don't want it to be, Seneca County and Tiffin's, we start June 1st, and we don't know when Fostoria is gonna start, but it may not be June 1st. So what I want Fostoria to understand is we're working really hard here at our office and with Safe Built to figure that out. They've been very good. They've given us resolutions. It's probably more back to Wood County and getting that all under control, but I feel good we're in the right path. Is that a fair statement?
yeah, I don't
You're
know
gonna
what
take it from here
the
and
termination time needed from
We're
Fostoria to
investigating a
Wood
few
was,
things.
so.
Tyler brought your name up, of course. Bill brought up Don Manel's name, and I'm like, I'll call the mayor, whatever we have to do.
I have an email
Yeah.
prepared to
So we're on
send,
it.
so.
We're not overreacting, but we don't want it to slip through the cracks. Is that a
Yep,
fair statement?
absolutely.
We just want everybody to come in and be all part of Seneca County Building Department, including Fostoria. But that holds true as well, Renee, so you know, if someone's looking to pull a building permit, and Fostoria is not in Seneca County, they will they will follow through Wood County till the end.
Correct, and we've
Yeah.
had people asking about that, and
So-
we've had people that are adjusting timelines accordingly.
Yeah.
So, yes.
We're all good with that. I'm glad you had the meeting, and it was more just getting comfortable with all the
And the city did.
housekeeping part of it.
The city did pass the resolution to come on board, so that portion had said it was just the notice that they needed to give to Wood County, so we'll get back with them and get dates, and we'll push that out when we push the rest of it out, so.
Good job there.
Very good.
That's actually all I have. We do not have the old business to discuss though with the airport. It was just us on the left and left, so we can move to new.
We'll put that on them, yeah. Okay, Barb, new business.
I have a couple of things. I'd like to give you some financial information. I have, for the month of, for the month of March, we collected $3.6 million in revenue for general fund, and we expended just over $2 million in general fund. So we're starting to even out for the year. It's still more expense than revenue, but we've also collected, I believe, 62% of our real estate for the first half. So I think as we get closer, more towards the middle of the year is where it really starts to balance out the expense and the revenue. I will also tell you that
You don't see anything, and I know the answer
I
to
didn't
this,
see
but I'm
anything
asking.
odd.
You don't see anything?
No, I didn't see anything.
Alarming or
No.
trends or anything? Okay.
No.
I think that's important.
I did pull the sales tax numbers. For this month, we collected $882,164.22 in sales tax, and this would be for February sales tax, February sales that were reported to the state. That is from the previous year up $34,000, but from the previous month, it's down $285,000 because in the previous month we collected 1.1 million.
I think we just have to go month over month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to, because it's just, sales tax is kind of a fickle, just depends on where we're at in the year, Christmas, school time, those types of things. So, but we are on track to meet all of, we are actually at the percentage that we need to be through April. So, for the year.
Hope we don't keep that trend going down.
No.
Well,
exactly.
But no,
Yeah, I mean, I
it
don't
wasn't
know
a
how
bad
to,
thing, but yeah.
if we're up over last year's February,
Yeah.
then, but we're just not up as much as we were up.
Yeah.
Because we were up February before.
It looks to be trending in the right direction, that we're gonna stay that direction.
Anything under $1 million doesn't sound good.
It doesn't sound
I think
good at
that's
all,
what
right?
you're saying.
But April, for 9 years in a row, April's been our worst month. So it's not surprising that it's lower. It's actually pretty good for April. So
That's what I'm
compared.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, because in February, there's no major holidays, there's nothing really going on that would constitute a jump in people buying things, so.
Good to know.
Okay, I have several supplemental appropriations. I have from the general fund for public assistance, $3,310. This is additional needed for the mandated care for JFS. And then I have also from the general fund, the inmate psychotropic medication of $9,715. This is reimbursement that they get. They have a grant with Mental Health and Recovery that they submit payments that they've made, and then mental health reimburses them. So they put it back into that so that they can help the inmates out at the jail with their medications. I also have for general fund for vital statistics $8. We just what happens is with this one, it's based on the number of certificate filings from the prior year. Death certificates, birth certificates, those types of things. And we were just off on our calculation just a little bit.
Having a hard time stomaching that.
$8, yes.
So how much is it per certificate? I want to divide.
It's 80 cents. So we
So that's how many is
miscalculated
it?
by 10
10
certificates.
certificates, okay. Thank you.
And then I have general special projects, the Fund 1193 for contract services in the amount of $1,200. It's needed to repay mental health and recovery for grant reporting services that they provide to the courts. Then I also have the concealed carry fund, 1047 for software licensing service of $690. This is for concealed carry licensing software that the sheriff's office uses to provide the CCWs. And then the last one I have is delinquent care and custody 1162 fund for their travel of $9,000. It's for training, a training contract with Community Corrections Institute. They're going to provide a training in their office through a contract that the commissioners have already signed for, so that they can get their training that they need for the court.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the supplemental appropriations as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? Any more discussion?
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Thank you, Barb. Good job.
Okay, I have a resolution appointing David Johnston as the apiary inspector for Seneca County.
I'll make a motion, we approve
I'll second.
this. Any discussion?
Do we know, as far as the compensation wise, is how that's gonna work?
Yeah, so
Stormwater?
he did bring up that he would like to be compensated just for a small amount. I think it was like $13. $13 an hour for, he calculates around 100 hours. So it's, you know, it's a small amount. So I have actually just a small contract worked, just did a contract language between the commissioner's office and him for that dollar amount. It's currently over at the prosecutor's office, but it's definitely a very fair amount.
Oh,
We'll take
about
it.
That's great, that's, yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a little checking around, and that's,
passionate,
yeah,
yeah.
Dave's a great
He's
guy.
gonna do a great
Yeah,
job.
appreciate, he's
And
got
so,
going for that.
yeah, so
He's-
Soil and Water reached out and said that he had put, that was the dollar amount,
So
so you
public
guys
knows.
will take that on as a professional service under the commissioners.
Soil and Water used to do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, Beth passed away, and so this, we're going a different direction.
So we're bringing back in, so we're gonna be.
We're bringing it in, and we're gonna go
Okay.
direct
Yeah, I think it's
to,
good.
Kind of,
with
'cause
Dave.
Yeah.
the funding will come from us,
Yeah.
the contract with Dave will be with us versus, and Soil and Water preferred that, so.
No, I think that's good.
Yeah. So we're just bringing it back in, and, we have a first and second.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay, thank you.
I have a resolution authorizing Anthony Paradiso, President of the Board, to sign the 2024 Workers' Compensation Group Retrospective Rating Plan Agreement between Seneca County and the County Commissioners Association of Ohio.
So move.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to accept the bid with A&A Safety for the 2023 pavement marking C-2023-2.
So move.
Second. Discussion. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
I have a resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to accept the bid with Allied Construction for the 2023 Seneca County Chip Seal C-2023-01.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay.
Commissioner Franker?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
I have a resolution setting the date and time for a viewing and public hearing for the vacation of an unnamed alley located in the hamlet of Caroline, located in Venice Township, Seneca County, Ohio. That viewing is June 1st at 9 a.m. And the hearing will be set for June 1st at 10:30 a.m.
So moved.
Second.
Second, little discussion, they've been working on this a long time.
Long time,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
So we want to do the same thing, meet and drive out, or,
Yeah, that's another Thursday morning.
Yes.
you know, be on a Thursday,
Yeah.
kind of like we did last week.
8 o'clock, or what time is that?
The viewing's at 9.
You're gonna be at 9. And Barb, you helped us out with the map last time, since that's where
Yeah, I
you
will
grew
make
up.
sure
but
that you have,
We're out there in Venice, so
I can make sure that you
make
have.
sure we have a
each-
map.
Yeah, Caroline's right on the edge there.
Okay, so, date and time set, we'll have the viewing and the hearing. Good.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
We have a resolution approving the contract service agreement with Oriana House for Pivot on behalf of the Seneca County Common Pleas Court, retroactive to July 1st, 2022.
I'd like to move to pass the resolution.
Second?
A little discussion, really appreciate the judges coming in last, two weeks ago, explaining all this to us, and thank you for everything you're doing. This is awesome, so, roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
A resolution approving the contract service agreement with Oriana House for Pivot on behalf of Seneca County Common Pleas. And this one is for the drug court services. The first one was for probation, sorry. And that's retroactive from July 1st, 2022.
So moved?
Second, Commissioner Frankert?
Okay?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
We have a resolution amending a county-appointed council system and establishing a fee schedule for the same Seneca County, Ohio, effective with the submission of bills to the court on or after April 21st, 2023. This is the request that came in from the judges to increase the public defender they made a request to 75. We've had some discussions back and forth that this resolution is for $70.
Just have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now discussion. Anyone want to add anything? You were involved in the meeting,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, and that's what I think that.
Give us an update, 'cause I
Currently,
think it
it's
was-
$60 an hour, so I think an increase of $10 an hour right now. And I think as we look into the budgets, when you come for requests for your out of budget season, it makes it hard to go for full requests.
mid-year bumps.
Mid-year bumps and stuff on that. So I think we're gonna reevaluate as things go. Maybe we can get some retrieval on some funds back, you know, if it gets paperwork filled out right and stuff on that. I think, you know, September we'll reevaluate and go from that point.
You good too? Yeah. Good. All right, we have a first and a second. Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Jimmy?
We have a resolution to support the appointment of J. Diane West to the OSS Solid Waste District Policy Committee Board effective April 20th, 2023.
So move.
Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
And we have a resolution to support the appointment of Dr. Laura Wolf to the OSS Solid Waste District Policy Committee Board effective April 20th, 2023.
So move.
Second?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Anything else? I have one thing to bring up.
I do not have anything further. That was the last thing I had.
So I would like to, we can resolve it now or resolve it next week, but I would like to move the May 25th meeting, which is a Thursday, to Tuesday, May 23rd.
Perfect.
May 25th to May 23rd, unless anybody has, I'd like to get it out there as fast, as far in advance as I can. I think Commissioner Franker, you might want to talk about the Fair Week while we're on
in
it.
July, yes.
24th, would it be? Or would it be our 27th meeting?
27th, yeah. Yeah, so I think we
No meeting that week,
Right, no meeting that week with the fair going on and
Fair Week. So, two changes in our schedule going forward. 25th will be the 23rd, and we will not be meeting the Fair Week. we will be out there at
You
all
said that
kinds
was
of
the
events.
27th.
27th, yep.
Okay.
Is everybody good with that?
Yeah, just, we had GeoCap coming in on the 25th for an update, but I'll reach out to them and see if they can move it to the 23rd. If not, we'll get them rescheduled. So, no big deal, I
hate
can't
to-
imagine.
Yeah, I know, I hate to. Okay, you got that.
But actually, that works better in the
Okay.
office as a whole, so.
Okay, so we'll make those changes. Public comment. Anyone? Jimmy?
Mike Ditto online, it'll give me a second here to get
Okay,
him
great.
queued up, but he had
Go.
mentioned he could give a quick report, so. Mike, you are, or I guess whoever's from Highbridge, if it's Mike, but you can unmute now.
Yep, it's me, Jimmy. Good morning, everyone.
Hi, Mike.
Good morning.
Good to be with you all, as always. Just two quick updates, and Commissioner Paradis and I have spoken about these. Number one, we've been talking a lot over the last few months about the EMS as an essential service and trying to find language that would actually give some teeth to that we may be able to insert into the state budget. I am pleased to report that thanks to your collective efforts on the commission, along with Representative Gary Click, the first iteration of the new House budget includes our EMS language, which is great news. Now, the budget will still change, and there's still a lot of debate and a lot of work to be done on that here in the next 2 months. But this is a fantastic first step for the county and for, I believe, EMS as a whole across the state of Ohio. So my thanks to all of you for your diligence and patience on this over the last several months. Again, a little bit of a road ahead of us still, but we've taken a fantastic first step to have that language included. Commissioner Paradis, I don't know if you wanted to add anything more to that, because I know that you've been promoting this quite a bit for a long time.
Yeah, no, thank you. I want to thank Jimmy for putting the pedal down here this last week or two. We were trying to set up a meeting on Tuesday. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Are you ready for that?
Mike, I don't
or
know
you
if you've
wanna-
heard anything. I'm kind of waiting to hear back from Representative Click's office, but I've got Tuesday held down and they have a conference room, but I think there's still some work going on with that. I don't know, Mike, if you've heard anything?
I haven't, and one of the things I may recommend at this point, that interested party meeting that we had discussed about trying to figure out, what to do, was really kind of based on the language potentially not being in the House version of the budget. So now that it is actually in and part of the state budget bill for now, I think we may be better served to delay that meeting a little bit until we get over to the Senate. And presuming this language stays in the Senate, then we're going to have a couple of months of deliberation, and we may need to have a more detailed conversation with them. But I think for the moment, we're in good shape to just push that off a little bit into May, and we can work collaboratively with Representative Click's office to find a good time for everybody.
Okay, you want to let Greg?
Sounds
Ben
great.
know?
That
Let
sounds
Ben
great.
know
Yep.
down there.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Anything else?
Hey,
on
Mike,
your end?
quick question for you, Mike.
Bill.
I see we got a CCAO legislative. As far as on a federal level, looks like you maybe want to retrieve some funds back from the CARES. Are you on top of that, or what we need to keep an eye on with that?
We are, and I'm actually going to be meeting with the County Commissioners Association on another conference call later this afternoon on that very item. And the other item on top of that I was going to mention on the federal side is I'm actually speaking to you right now from the United States Capitol. And I'm here on other business, but I took the liberty to pop my head in this morning to Congressman Latta's office and speak to his staff that I had previously spoken with, and you had too, about some of the supplemental appropriations funding and applications that you were seeking about a month ago, just to thank them on behalf of the county for their work. They're very much working on it, and it was good to put a face to a name. Met with it's either Matt or Mike. Of course, I have his business card, can't find it. But we met this morning briefly and had a chance to. It's Mike Davin, his legislative director. Super nice team, always wanting to be helpful to the county, and they're going to keep us in touch with some of the things that you have applied for some funding for. So between that and the county commissioners, very much on top of it, and we'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Mike.
Anybody
Thank
else
you.
for Mike?
Sorry for the noise in the background.
You're good.
Thanks, Mike. Back to work for you. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
While we're online, let's do it in reverse. Anyone else?
Yep. And give this a second here, Commissioner. I want to make sure I put a message in the chat, But please let us know if you'd like to come forward, and I'll also make it so you can unmute your line now. So if you'd like to speak during public comment, go ahead and come forward. And let's just give them a second. Don't rush through really quickly here, if you will.
I did want to, while we're in kind of a mini stall point, I left a comment to you, for you, Jimmy, off my report.
Yeah.
I noticed how you're introducing the EMS personnel. The second one went
Yeah.
out, and I read that bio. I was pretty impressed.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, Patrick
From
Rogers.
Iran,
is
Iraq to
Yeah.
all around, so I love how you're doing that
Yeah.
with our EMS.
Don's been great. I mean, Director Bell has been awesome, and we're
So,
kind of working on a
taking
weekly
our
series
full-time
to just
people
introduce our team of EMS personnel. And I came up with like a little graphic for it. It looks pretty cool.
I'm not a Facebook guy, but that jumped right out at me.
I saw that you liked it. I was like, man, we
Yeah,
got
I read it.
Commissioner on
I
Facebook.
hope I
Let's
don't hit the
go.
wrong button. But yeah, that was well done. Picture of the family and it's very good. Very good.
I don't think we have anyone
You good
online, so
there?
if you want to go.
Anyone in the audience like to speak? Good. Okay, so I think that's it. So I'd like to make a motion to enter into executive session at this time to discuss discipline of a county employee.
Second.
Okay, we have first and second. It's 10:26. Roll call. 11:26. They almost made it to it.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go to the back. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. one.
I'd like to make a motion that we come out of executive session.
I'll second the motion.
Yep, 11:37. Roll call.
Commissioner Freighter?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay, so we had some discussion and
I'd like to make a motion that we terminate Kylie Garner, Assistant Administrator, effective immediately.
I'll second the motion.
okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Freighter?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Any other business?
That was it.
Okay, so it's 11:38, meeting adjourned.